I'm now joined by founder and lead writer at WisconsinBaseballCentral.com. His name is Spencer Flaten. He will be covering all of summer baseball state games beginning today on July 24th, which is obviously today. So, Spencer, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Alex. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my man.
Always, man. All right. So talk to me about state baseball, spring baseball, actually, which starts today. Just talk about the 3 or 4 teams that are there.
All right. So coming up in about a half hour here at 11:30, you got Plymouth versus Franklin. Plymouth, I believe we had ranked number 7 in our latest rankings at WBC. Then we got Franklin is number 5, so that'll be a real good one. Plymouth's pitcher, Zach Kane, he's going to Upper Iowa. He's going to be on the mound, I would guess. His ERA is below 2, I know for sure. He's just an animal. And then Franklin's got their own beast. I can't remember his name, but he does have a similar stats as Kane. So, yeah, that'll be a good one on the mound. So I'm expecting a low-scoring game in this first one. Both teams have good offenses, but not great offenses. So we'll see how that just shakes out in a little bit here. And then following that game, about half hour after, I think, is Menominee Falls taking on Pewaukee. And Menominee Falls was ranked 4th in our last rankings. They've been solid all season. They've been playing in tough conference, and it's really helped them out. I think they've been playing well. And then finally, Pewaukee. They're an interesting story. They started out 12-0. They got up to number 2 in our rankings. And then they lost, I think, 10 out of their last 17, I want to say, something like that.
Wow.
And they really fell off the map for a while there. They're still in our honorable mentions of our rankings, but obviously they hadn't been playing well. And then all of a sudden they just kicked it into gear here in the postseason. Now they're at the state, so, what can you say? I think they might have regained their early season form.
There's been a couple teams, like there is in spring baseball as well, but there's been a couple teams that have really been hot all year, and then they just slowed down come regional sectionals, right?
Right, exactly. It's all about the pitching in the playoffs. Whoever has 1 or 2 top pitchers is going to make a run, right, compared to the teams that are bashing the ball around the park but don't have the pitching necessarily.
So, in my opinion, not in your site, but other media sites, there's less coverage when it comes to summer baseball rather than spring baseball. So does that make it kind of tough for you guys over at WBC to cover summer baseball?
Yeah, it's interesting talking to people I know in the media. Prep Baseball Report, their head guy, he's totally abandoned doing summer baseball. It's just kind of funny. The Journal Sentinel, it's slowly dying off in their coverage as well. So I feel like we're kind of shouldering a little bit of the load here. I've been getting messages from coaches and stuff saying thanks for doing this because we don't get the recognition we deserve, which I think is fair. But yeah, it is dying off for obvious reasons. I think there's far fewer players that play in the summer, and there's just not as many schools involved, so not as many people want to know about it as spring, I would say.
But I say you guys kind of get a nice help from different social media sites where people are tweeting in scores and Snapchatting scores via Twitter. So that kind of helps you out, right?
Yeah, for sure. We always appreciate when people are able to let us know what's going on with their teams and how they're doing and how things are shaking out in the conference, and it definitely makes it a lot easier than just going out and trying to search around the newspapers for scores on our own.
Right. So for you, what's the biggest difference between covering a spring baseball and summer baseball?
Well, I think it's the interest level. The players are all as good as each other, regardless of playing in the summer or the spring, but there's not nearly as much attention on the summer players. So it's just harder to get a feel for how the games are going to shake out, if you know what I mean. So that's basically the biggest difference, in my opinion.
So before we let you go here, I want a prediction from you, from our expert. Who do you got in the championship game, and who do you have winning it all in spring or summer baseball?
I think both the semifinals are toss-ups, honestly. So I think Franklin has played the tough schedule than Plymouth, so I'll take them to beat Plymouth in the first round, followed by Menominee Falls over Milwaukee, and then we'll say Franklin winning it all. That'll probably be wrong.
So how about you let the viewers know where we can find you besides WisconsinBaseballCentral.com? Where can we find you on social media?
You can always hit us up on Twitter at WIBallCentral and add us on Snapchat at WIBallBattles.
All right, perfect. Spencer Flaten, lead writer at WisconsinBaseballCentral.com. Thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure, Alex. Thanks for having me.